Hey, and welcome back to Behind the Business Chat. Every business has a story, and I'm setting out to learn the story behind some of Chattanooga's most loved businesses. This week, I had the wonderful opportunity to speak with Anthony and Barb, owners of Awakening Adventures. Awakening Adventures is an outdoor haven for numerous experiences. They host everything from large camping groups to glamping getaways, and even pontoon boat rides on Watts Bar Lake. Their large property is located near Spring City, Tennessee, where they have various dwellings built to accommodate different glamping experiences. There's so many creative things on this property that allow visitors to relax and explore while getting away from the draining day-to-day life. In fact, my stay here last April, yes, this episode was recorded almost a year ago. During my stay is when I decided, hey, I need to start up the podcast again, so here we are. And thankfully I had everything I needed with me and was able to just ask them on the spot, hey, do you want to go ahead and do a podcast episode with me? And of course they said yes, so thankfully. But they also live on the property, which is really convenient, so if you ever need anything while you're there, they're right there to ask, do you want to be on a podcast? So without further ado, I am very excited to be able to share this chat with you as we discuss more about the business and what goes into this local glamping retreat. Now, let's meet Anthony and Barb.
Hello, I'm Anthony of Awakening Adventures. This is my wife, Barb.
Hi, I'm Barb.
And can you tell me a little bit about what Awakening Adventures is?
Awakening Adventures is so many things. It's hard to sum it up. It's a forest sanctuary, a place to come, enjoy the presence of God, rest in peace. It's I want to say it's a judgment-free zone. Love rules here, because I don't think we're going to survive any other way.
Yeah.
We really claim Psalm 91 as our fight song to understand we're set in a love story, but it's in the midst of a war. And so that's why I love to see this as a forest sanctuary, because it's the refuge of the love of God, and that's where we can find true rest.
Yeah, I never really thought of it putting it that way, that we're in the middle of a love story, but it's set in a war. And that's true. Our time here on earth is, the spiritual battle between light and dark.
It's also a forest sanctuary for your entire family and your pets. If your family is huge, we have enough beds for huge families. And if it's small, we have that too. 3.5 miles of trails you can just peacefully walk anytime you want to and enjoy everything, including hearing the wind come through the trees, enjoying all that peace with your family. And it's very simple.
Yeah, I loved exploring the property. Last night I just went out and I was just I'm gonna go over the ridge, see what's on the other side. And I started calling it Easter eggs, because in a video game where there's a little hidden gem, Easter egg. That's what, I'm that's what this property has. You never know what you're gonna find around the next corner.
Yeah, there's wild azaleas and lady slippers and different kinds of ferns. There's so many little things. You'll find a turtle here and there, wild turkeys, so many things to find around every little corner. You'll be standing there and then a deer goes past. You go oh, I didn't even know it was there.
Yeah. They're sneaky really like that.
And just to recap what we offer, we have 4 queen beds. 2 of those dwellings have a full-size futon in them, and then the treehouse has the queen and the twin size futon, depending on how you sleep.
Right.
Yeah.
But then if you have some in your group that primitive camp, we can handle up to 25. But right now, depending on the sleeping arrangements, we have beds for 8, 10, 12. 16 people.
And then we have a couple of tents we can put out for people, because kids like tents.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm one of those kids.
Have a good bed, and the kids can stay out there on the prairie.
Yeah. There was one time my family rented a camper, and my dad likes to get up super early, before the sun's up, and he's turning on just a little kitchen light, but it lights up the whole camper, And I was that's it. I'm sleeping in the tent tonight. So we had brought our little 2-person tent, so I pitched it right outside. I was this is where I'm sleeping the rest of the trip.
We have a couple of those you can put next to the tent, or you can, whatever.
Yeah.
We have multiple tent sites throughout. You'll find fire rings in the middle of nowhere, and you go what?
Yeah.
Just in case there's going to be those teenagers that want to just have this much privacy, and they want to go out in the forest and just do for themselves.
Yeah.
But still be close enough to mom and dad for they can, they can hear them if they yell loud enough.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a surprise to me when I was hiking up the ridge last night, because I saw that right over the ridge line there's 2 campsites over there. And I was oh, I didn't know these were over here.
Yeah. Every once in a while we have people that want them, and we're all for it.
Yeah.
It's a quick little hike, and it's easy, and it's very peaceful and all by itself back there. There's a peace back there. We lived back there for 3 or 4 months
Oh, really?
in a tent when we first got the property.
Oh yeah, at the rounded part of the horseshoe. No water. We didn't have no water yet. No electricity. We lived up there for at least a month.
Wow.
From February to, well, we came every other week.
Solar shower bag.
Solar shower bag, and just a big tent right there. And it was so peaceful.
So, were y'all a family that always went camping back at home?
Sort of. Sort of. My son preferred hotel rooms to camping. But we did go do things outside a lot. He just was not sleeping on the ground, you know, but we still enjoyed all of that, the nature, and we still
Being
did all
outdoors.
that.
Yep.
I was just wondering, like, what brought you guys to purchase this property and embark on the homesteading adventure?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a decade-long story, really.
Yeah. What's the summarized version?
Yeah, it's hard to summarize it.
You can do it.
Yeah, it's this desire to walk with God, to live out of our heart, right? And essentially a different kind of life, a simpler life, and to live out of our desires, because when we align our will with the Father's will, the scripture says he gives us the desires of our heart. And I believe the glory of God is man fully alive. So when we come fully alive like that, we become true image bearers of God. And we're shining his light, and we're living our true self.
The bugs are loving you today.
Oh yeah.
They're finally out.
Yeah.
And how did we get here?
How did we get here?
Yeah, you're going around.
I know. We drove.
Okay, you got this story better than
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the lake drew me to this area. If you want to go that route, I mean, I love being on the water. It makes me come alive. So it's, that's the other part of it is to do something that makes you come alive and to actually be able to make a living doing it.
Yeah.
So that's part of the Lord giving us the desires of our heart.
We were looking for land, and we came back to this particular spot 3 different times. And we looked everywhere from stuff that was in downtown Chattanooga to farther to the east, farther to the west. And this is and we came back the first time, we're like, this is very interesting. And the next time we walked farther in. So at first we only went just about to here. And the next time we went over the ridge. And then the last time we walked the whole property, and then we were like, this is where we need to be.
Yeah.
And I consider that just a God-breathed thing. We were looking for something to expand the kingdom. We were looking for something where we can show our faith and to plant seeds and to show people that they can bring their families to a place and have peace and enjoy not being in the rat race for even a day.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Because that reminds me. Okay, so like at the heart of it is this. Okay, so I've had in my past, I've had these tangible experiences or encounters with God. Okay, and so what that does to us is it changes how we operate in the world, and it strengthens our faith. So at the heart of it, I want to facilitate helping other people have that kind of experience, so they can have a tangible encounter with Jesus. And so then that becomes, so those experiences have become a part of me, right? So they become a part of who I am. And so it strengthens our faith, it propels our walk with Christ, and then we share it with others.
Yeah,
so
like
what
being in a space like this, you're removing all those distractions of the world, and really our society as a whole is very fast-paced, very like, you work, you eat, you sleep, and that's it. You're lucky if you have a hobby or do something fun on the weekend, and it is very distracting from what God has already given us, like in creation even, and just being out in nature and really seeing his handiwork. But then also with that new perspective, then you can take that back to your day-to-day life, and you can still see him in the rat race of life.
Yes.
Yes.
And all the small things.
Yeah.
And all the small, tiny miracles of everyday life that people just overlook. Look at the little tiny thing.
Yeah, so that tangible encounter, like you're saying, gives you that new perspective, and so now you have a different way of viewing things, and you're actually seeing more of God in the everyday.
Yeah.
And it's becoming like that more and more. I hear him more, and I'm experiencing him more in the everyday. So
That's how he works.
Yep.
So were y'all, I guess, just looking for something new? The kids were grown, left home, and you were looking for something new. Is that kind of what drew you out here, or?
Yeah, I mean, we were empty nesters, and I was a manager for a regional wireless internet company, and always on call. The internet never sleeps, and it doesn't go out on a Tuesday afternoon at 2 o'clock. It goes out on a Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock when you're ready for nap time. And like you said, it's that rat race, and this desire to have a different kind of life. More
Plugged in 24/7.
Yeah.
More of a life in God. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very draining. We were not designed to work that way, so
Yeah.
that's what makes it
true.
difficult.
That's very, very true. I was a pharmacy tech for I don't know how many years. And the same thing, things started slowing down, and then I wasn't necessary anymore. My body gave out, and it's like, you're done. God told me you are done with this right now. And then next thing you know, he comes home and goes, hey, we should move to Tennessee. And I'm like, no. Well, we had our perfect house, and we had our perfect location, and all of our kids was around us. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't have to go too far for anything.
And debt
Parents
free.
were all like, and we were debt free.
Yeah.
And so it's like, we were good. We were fantastic.
Yeah, we could have just
coasted.
and lived it easy.
And lived an easy life.
Yeah. And I really just wanted to come down here and do boat tours, but thank God he had something different in mind.
Yeah.
When
Things changed quickly.
when the scripture says he does.
His ways are higher than ours, and his thoughts.
Yeah.
What you set in your heart, he'll shift you another direction.
Yeah. Well, he does beyond what we can even think or imagine, and that's what he's done here.
And-
Because we would not have survived had I relied on just boat tours. So
Right.
he saw. He goes before us.
Yeah, that's not a done dream. He does boat tours, and he's a captain, and he does that whenever it's called upon. But for the most part, it's all about facilitating God's word through this forest and getting families to understand the peace that is available. Come out of the rat race for a minute, stay out of the world for just a little while, one weekend, and just see, or a week, or,
However long it takes.
whatever it takes. Because we are within, an hour or 2 hours of some amazing places and waterfalls and so many things you could do on a quick day trip.
Yeah.
That you could literally spend and just go out.
Well, and that's the other thing that attracted me to this location is
very
because
central.
if you make a triangle in between Nashville, Chattanooga, and Knoxville, we're literally right in the middle of that triangle. So, and I mean, especially to your viewers, the hiking aspect of it. I mean, we're 20 minutes from 3 of the Cumberland Trail trailheads.
Yeah.
And you can go either direction on all 3 of those locations.
Yeah.
So the possibilities are really endless. As far as hiking.
Because it's like you got Piney Falls like literally across the street from you, and then Ozone is just the other direction, but like same distance. And then we went to Black Mountain, hiked that yesterday, and just the drive over there too is really pretty because you go through Grassy Cove and like all these
Grassy
serene
Cove.
spots.
Wow, so beautiful.
Yeah. So I guess were you just like looking, you knew what you wanted to do, you want to do boat tours and everything. So was it like literally you were looking for a good water spot and that's how you ended up with Tennessee?
Yeah.
Because I was trying to figure out the connection between Indiana and Tennessee.
There was no connection.
Yeah.
We just,
Yeah, we started looking down by Chattanooga, closer.
Yeah.
There was,
down that way.
just nothing down
We
there.
just didn't find anything.
Well, there was a
fine.
beautiful property actually by Raccoon
Yeah,
Mountain,
it really-
but it was, it was $250,000.
Yeah.
It was rocky, and it was really going to be.
Oh my goodness.
We would have had to actually construct the road to get there.
Yeah.
Because of the drive, it was so awful. We just couldn't figure out how are people driving this every day when the ruts will take out your car.
Yeah.
But as I've learned living here, you learn how to drive on that road.
Yeah, there's definitely some roads around here that are like that. That's why Adam even asked me. He's like, "Are we going to be able to get there?" And I was like, "I would think so." Like they didn't say anything about needing a 4x4 to get to their property.
That's all paved. It's fine.
Yeah, but yeah, that's one of the questions you have to ask around these parts because you never know what you're going to run into.
Never, ever know. We had never really been to Tennessee, but somehow this area drew us just instantly. So this is where we started looking, and it wasn't in this part, but it was within, a 70, 80 mile radius of this spot. And then we ended in this spot, and it was just perfect.
Yeah.
I couldn't have asked for better. Like, was it easy? Absolutely not. But living in a tent for 6 to 8 months, you realize you don't need that much.
No.
Literally, you don't need that much. And you can do I really enjoyed it. And now I don't think I could ever live anywhere else but on this property. I just really don't think I could.
Yeah. My story of moving to Chattanooga is kind of similar because people ask me all the time. They're like, "How did you end up in Tennessee?" Because I'm from Florida originally, and they're like, "How did you end up in Chattanooga?" You know, and it's like, I had an old connection of family. So we used to go up to Chattanooga every Thanksgiving to visit. My great-grandparents used to live there. We would just go up once a year and visit them. So I had childhood memories. Once my great-grandparents passed away, we stopped going up. And so like I missed it, like even as a kid. I was probably about 12 when they passed away. So I missed coming up here, you know, and everything, the mountains and all that. And so it was one of those childhood things where I was like, I'm going to live in Tennessee one day, you know, not knowing that was actually going to happen.
It is that beautiful. So it wooed you at a young age, basically.
Yeah.
The beauty, that's the way I see it, you know, the beauty woos us, you know, and it's all God.
Yeah.
The creator.
Definitely.
Absolutely. And you just never know what's over another ridge. Like, you just go to a ridge and look down and you're like, oh, that's amazing. And then to me, every time I go over the ridge, every time I go through any of the ridges, there's like 3 of them through there.
Yeah.
It's like, you just go like, oh, wow, that's beautiful. And every season of the year, it looks different. And so, like right now, it's starting to leaf out. And when the summer hits, when it's the deepest, darkest of summer, like it's like air conditioning in the forest, and you just go like, I cannot believe it is so nice up here.
Yeah.
And why isn't it hot? Oh, step out on where the garden is. Oh, it's hot. Stay in the forest. It's cool.
Yeah, it's built-in shade.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Literally, there's more recreation, I believe, around this area, even within a 1 hour and a half radius that you can do in a lifetime.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, absolutely. We have lots and lots of parks. Oh, like Cumberland Park is right there. And like, I like that one because it's got a lot of paved trails. And Barb needs paved trails. And then like Cherokee Removal Park has that. And then downtown Dayton has the, like, so any kind of hiking ability, there's a park for you
right
in this area.
Yeah, that's something that when I started the blog, I was like, I'm going to run out of stuff. That was my first concern. How do I not run out of stuff to explore and talk about?
Yeah.
And then the more I dig into it, the more I realize that's never going to happen.
It's not. Like, he enjoys a regular trail where he can just get off on a trail. I am disabled, so therefore I cannot just go on one of those strenuous, like when they say easy hike, that's strict, depending on your gait and abilities. And so I appreciate those kind of things. And, you know, we have ramps and things like that for people. It's easier for me to go up a ramp than it is for me to go upstairs. So we have ramps.
Yeah.
We accommodate. And so therefore it's easier. And I think that people need to remember, yes, you may not be able to do everything you ever used to do, but you can still do something.
Yes.
There's still something out there for you to do. And going to those parks that have the blacktop or easier or graveled, whatever it is. So many arboretums and so many places around here. The Cumberland UT Gardens, Learning Gardens. Oh, I love it there. And then going to the UT Arboretum, going to the one in Harriman.
The one in Oak Ridge.
Just so many beautiful places to go.
Yeah, you mentioned a bunch of places I've never even heard of. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm a plant nerd, and so as a master gardener, I just know where all the gardening places are and all the places to go. Exploring those places, to me, is so much cooler. I just love going around and looking for things.
Yeah. Like you said, everybody has their thing. So it's like I love hiking and seeing like overlooks and waterfalls. That's my thing. But it sounds like your excitement for plants is equal to that of mine. And
you can do that without having to be that strenuous. Man, I used to love doing that, even with the strenuous of it. I would still go out and I'd be like, oh, look, little bluets, you know, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I would go like, oh, wow, look at that. Even in our forest, when I see like a cut leaf or something, I'm like, look at that, India pink's right there. You know, when I find a new flower in my forest or a new plant, or the laurels in bloom, or the wild azaleas come into bloom, they're amazing.
Yeah, those are pretty.
And you just go, wow.
Yeah, and you don't have to travel far to see those on your own property.
Yeah, and it's pretty much one of those things where it's like the way these trails are built, they were built, even I can walk these trails. They're not awful.
Yeah.
So I do get to go and look at what I want to look at.
Yeah. Yeah, they are easy trails. There is some incline though.
There's some
that
incline.
that takes a little getting used to if
Yes.
you're not used to the incline. But
And trip hazards.
yeah,
I
find all the trip hazards out there. Let me tell you.
There's
I
stumps
want
and
to paint
holes.
those with white reflective paint.
I don't know how many of my YouTube videos you've watched of my hiking, but pretty much every single one there's something where I've tripped or almost fallen. You explained this to me the other day, but go ahead and explain again like how like when you start a project, because you've got so many just unique projects on the property, and then you say you start them, you don't really know how they're going to end.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
He plans it out, and he
Yeah.
does his tree house knowledge.
Yeah, so it starts with an idea, right? And you kind of plan some of it out. And there's a popular photo where it's all foggy and there's this fence line and you can only see so far. So I kind of see a project like that. I don't really know how it's going to finish. It's like our walk with God. We don't have to know. We don't have to understand to enjoy God, you know? And so I see it like that, you know, I got this idea, but I don't have to figure out everything. It's part of that letting go and that control. So I love to build like that. And it's that freedom that we have.
Explain that with your last project.
Well, so like Stargazer. Yeah, so, there's no formula really.
That project's still in the works too.
Yeah.
So close to being done.
Yeah, it should be finished today.
It was supposed to be a four-walled regular structure.
Yeah.
So it took a turn all the way through. It's like, ooh, we should do this, and then he would come up with a new idea the next day, and then it was like, okay, now you got to think about it and figure out how to do it. You know, technically how to accomplish those things.
Yeah. So it kind of parallels. We have this freedom in Christ, okay, letting go and not having to figure things out. Once you understand that, it's Psalm 23:1, the Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. Okay, so once you fully understand, once you believe that, once you trust it, and once you know it, like know it without doubting, okay?
Faith is not faith without action.
Yeah.
It's one thing to say, I believe that, but it's another thing for God to be like, do you? Let me put you in this situation and prove that you believe that.
Yeah.
Believe and trust.
Yeah. So with that foundation, okay, the believe, the trust, the knowing, and no doubting, like James talks about. So then we have this ability to live knowing that God is our provider. I'm taken care of. I don't have to figure things out. He's going to take care of me. I merely have to listen and do what he says because he knows best. We have to believe that he is, like it says in Hebrews, and that he's a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. So that's my part. When I'm believing, I'm trusting, and knowing I'm diligently seeking him. Okay, so that's the spiritual aspect of it. So then what that allows in our reality in the physical realm, back to the projects. So I'm building this project and I'm thinking of others. So that opens us up as individuals. So we die to self, and now we can live for the sake of others, which brings me to my definition of the church. You know, the church is the power of God in the presence of people for the sake of the world. So now we have this ability to live for others. I don't have to manufacture joy. God provides that for me. Especially when I'm living for the sake of others. And so now I'm in this project, I had this idea, and I'm thinking about the experience I want people to have. The Lord comes into that when we're walking with him. And so like with Stargazer, you got the two walls, which kind of represent setting aside the distractions of the world, the busyness, the pressure, okay? So you got the two plywood walls that block all that out, and then you have the two clear walls and the clear sky that immerse you in the forest, the sanctuary, the love refuge of God, right? And so now he gives me this vision of what people can experience. And so I picture, you have to put yourself in there, in that spot. And so I sit on the floor when there's nothing there, or just the two plywood walls, and I'm like, well, how am I going to finish this? And so that, and that's time with God. Jesus called it the secret place, or Moses. And it was the tent for Moses, the tent of meeting. And so it's with God, because he's always with us. It's facilitating the experience for others so that they can experience God in that way and have that tangible encounter.
Yeah.
So that's what drives when, love is the motivation now. Self is not the motivation anymore because I've died to self. because he already provides everything I need.
Yeah, he builds the buildings, then I go in and go, who's gonna stay here? Family, a big family. And then I create that space for a big family to stay in there.
Do you have an interior designer?
Interior placement person. I don't design a whole lot. It just kind of designs itself.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
A lot of time when I'm going out looking for things, or he'll bring back like the set of curtains in there, and then I'll just like make the whole room around that curtain.
Yeah.
What color rug do we need? What color this? Because of, one thing that is given. Initially that was going to be a blue jean wall. I was going to cut strips and make blue jeans into the walls.
And that's the beauty of it too.
And then that changed once I put up the blue walls. I went, no, this looks too good. I'm going to just leave it all the same. And then later, if I want to, I can just change it out. Like, it's easily changeable.
Yeah.
But that way we have, like, indoor things for the family to do. So if it's raining, they're still fine. They have all the indoor things they can do, games, table, whatever.
And they're still out in nature because they're seeing it through the walls and the ceiling.
Out of nature. So in everything about that is, you still see everything. It's, I don't know. I think it's going to be beautiful for people.
And it happens over time too. Like we go to the Habitat for Humanity store quite a bit, and so sometimes you'll see a piece. Maybe it's a window. Well, like the window in Driftwood. I mean, I got that months before we built that. I'm like, oh, that's a cool window.
Yeah, I really like that
cool
window.
Yeah.
I think I can use that in a treehouse.
And he bought it.
And then it comes, like months later, and it's part of that like waiting on God.
Yeah, that's exactly what I needed for this exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
So when we wait on Him,
Yeah.
And he definitely teaches us patience.
Yes.
Understanding that he's outside of time. So like for him, it's no big deal. He might have you wait 20 years for something and you're like, 20 years?
Yes, I know that is true because of this man right here. It took a long time to find a partner who is equally yoked with me. And although, society was saying, you're too old, this is never going to happen. Oh no, you lost your chance. And God said, no, you didn't. Just bear with me. And, I was in that mindset of the world where it's like, I'm done. So I don't have to try anymore. Sweet. He's like, no, you're not done. Your whole world is going to change. And my whole world did change. There's nothing about my world now that's the same as it was 10 years ago.
And then the beautiful thing about that is everybody in the world is striving for that. Say, I'm too old to find somebody,
I'm too old to do this.
I've been through all of this and everything. I'm just,
I'm too old to change. I'm too old to move. I'm too old to, I don't have this anymore, so what am I going to do? The next chapter is right there. Open the door.
Yeah.
It's right there.
I like to say, it's not my problem. It's like all these things, all these problems we create. Like, at the end of the day, if you're truly trusting God and believe that He has the best for you, as He promises.
Yes.
You don't need to worry about anything.
You don't have to worry. He will. And that's the thing that everybody goes like, you have to trust. Not just believe, but you have to trust. He's got you. He's got you.
Yeah.
Trust that.
And we waste so much time arranging for life, is what I like to call it, right?
Yeah, we put so much energy and effort into things, and it's just like, it's so black and white. It's like you're either with God or you're not. So it's like even every little thing you do day to day, are you doing that for yourself or are you doing that for God? That could be very sobering, but to think about.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, that really is what it is at
And
the
it could be
root of it.
something really small or something really big. And the little things count as much as the big things.
Exactly.
They count just as much.
Yeah.
He sees all the tiny little things and he sees the one big thing. It's like the lady who put in 2 pennies, but the other people put in a lot of money, and Jesus said, no, she counts more.
Yeah.
She put in more, but it was only 2 pennies.
Yeah.
Because it was what was in her heart.
It was what was in her heart.
And that she was giving with a giving attitude. He likes a cheerful giver. Doesn't it say that at the end of that chapter?
Yeah,
I
I think
can't
so.
remember. But yeah. Whereas the other people were doing it for show. They were like, look how rich I am, how generous I am.
That's when you receive your
You received your reward
here.
in full. Yeah.
My grandparents were like that. They would give in secret. And if they heard that you didn't have groceries, and this was, 60 years ago, they would just put a couple bags of groceries on your porch, when it got dark out, or took care of something in town for you, or whatever it was. And that's how I learned to give. You don't tell everybody you did it, but then you hear years later from people that knew your grandparents about what they did, and you had no idea because they didn't tell you. And it was the most shocking and beautiful thing. And so that's how I have always tried to give. It's like, I don't need you to. I don't want the whole world to know what I did.
So there's a couple in my small group that he said it was the same way. His dad was that way, and he had no idea. He's like, his dad passed away, go to the funeral, and he's like, who are all these people? Like, there's tons of people. And they all came up to him knowing that he was his son, you know, and they're like, oh, you know what your dad did for me? And he's like, no, I don't even know you. And it was like he learned all these stories about all these ways that his dad helped all these people, but never shared about it. You know?
Yeah, all my aunts and uncles, you know, found out the reason why that my grandfather was in the area, and he had went in to take care of this family. They had no idea that he had spent a year of his life helping this one guy become sober and take care of his kids, and he did all that while he was helping that guy because his wife had died. So he was helping raise those children, and one of the children said it changed their life forever. Yeah. The way they saw the world and other people. As a child, my grandfather did that for them. Yeah. And so that is planting seed. I really want to do, like, that's my goal, is to do that for anybody that comes here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want them to feel the love and the care and the blessings and the peace, the canopy of peace over this that they can receive just, you know, for a moment.
Yeah.
Take it and grow it. It's like a little ball of sourdough. It'll make a loaf if you let it. Give it time, and you'll have your loaf.
Is there anything else that you want to add, like future plans? I mean, I know you're working on building the bunkhouse, you told me, and Stargazer's almost finished. I was going to say, I guess you don't look this far in advance, but I was going to say, like, are you just planning on just building dwellings all the time, basically, in different spots, or are you going to stop eventually and do something else, you know?
Yes, we're going to stop. Probably,
I have a garden out here that I want to continue and create a walk through.
Oh, that'd be nice.
You know, something. I really want to do that, and I'm too busy doing this.
Yeah.
So I never get around to getting that done. So I have, you know, as you can tell by my piles of dirt, that I have things to do.
Yeah.
And I really want to start working on those this year and getting those done.
Yeah, he was telling me everything you wanted to plant as we were walking along the other day. This is where the blueberries are going to go. This is where the raspberries are going to go.
Yeah. And the way I flow the garden, I want it to match the curve of the earth, so it's like it's not going to be a normal row garden. Yeah. And I don't want it to be. There'll be all different things in there. It might be a tree and a bench, but as you can tell, I've only planted the trees that are only this tall, so I have time to work on it. It's just I should start getting more done.
Yeah, I mean, essentially there's more than a lifetime's worth of work here. So yeah, we take it one day at a time. 1 week at a time, although a lot of the projects take a lot of advanced planning. So I'm always looking, you know, thinking in advance, especially when I'm seeing trees, especially trees that are about to die. I'm like, oh, should I harvest this and get it sawed up for a future project, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So a lot of it's, you know, like I was telling you about the mushrooms, it's taking what God has given us and making the most of it. But the big one right now is the bunkhouse, a hostile bunkhouse. Not hostile, but hostile.
Yeah, you said that. I was like, wait, that's not right.
That's the wrong terminology.
That's the opposite of what we're trying to accomplish here.
You know, because we thought of that one because we went last year on our 6th honeymoon. We stayed at a hostel on the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it inspired us to change that into hostel where, you know, a hiker who wants to do the Cumberland Trail, but, you know, or a group of people, they want to do some trails, but, you know, they don't want to spend like a fortune. Okay, so $30 a night, there's a bed. Yeah, there's 2 or 3 other people in there, and it's a community. Like you learn that community, that trail community, and you can just go back out on the trail, and it's a place where you can have a meal and a bed. I get to go hike all day and not worry about where I'm going to sleep or what I'm going to eat. It's already there.
Yeah, because the Cumberland Trail, even though it's not completed yet, I mean, a good chunk of it is. Not all of the sections have campsites on them, so it's like some do where you can just primitive camp, but not all of them do. And there's some stretches where I'm like, like, how would you even do that if you're going to through hike it?
I believe there's going to be a need for a transport service in this area in the future.
Yeah.
As they finish the trail and there's more like through hikers.
That was my next question. I was like, how would you pick them up from the trail and bring them to the property?
That's one of those future plans of as the trail progresses, then we will change how we, the services we provide, or we're like, okay, so we can go pick up people and we can become one of those transport people that do that for trail hikers.
Yeah.
Especially on the Cumberland. It's not as popular as the AT, but it could be as a small trail. Like, I want to just do this for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because I can't take 3 months off of work. But I can take 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then they could come sleep, get a meal, get back on the trail, that kind of thing.
But even now, there's a good sections where we're in a good position here, a place where like there's a 10-mile through a point-to-point hike, like we were talking the other day. A lot of people don't like to go do an out and back.
Yeah.
And
so if it was 10 miles, that's 20 miles round trip if you're going to go out and back.
So then, that's why we're set up here like for small groups. So it's ideal, even if you have just 2 couples, we got the dwellings for it, and then, you park one vehicle at one end, and how it goes. That opens up that opportunity for people to do a point-to-point hike.
Yeah.
And it's actually several sections where you could do that. And the trailhead's, like I said, only 20 minutes away.
Yeah, multiple trailheads. You can go to that one or that one. Either one. Park in one, pick up in another.
Yeah, you could. Crab Orchard or Spring City.
Yeah, absolutely.
I saw the Grassy Cove one when we were driving through yesterday. It was the Grassy Cove trailhead. They're there. So you're near that. You're not far from all the piney ones, like you said, in Spring City. So Piney River, there's Stinging Fork. There's quite a few up there. And then you got Brady Mountain, Black Mountain. So there's a lot of...
Yeah.
You're right in like the heart of the Cumberland Trail.
And then as far as other future projects go, I really want to have a zip line and then some more tree climbing structures and stuff
camping,
to do.
A lot more boat camping.
Oh yeah, and the water.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So
I was gonna please explain that further. Is that like, do you take them to an island or somewhere, or?
Okay, so with all the camping gear that we have and the boat in the marina, so I can basically outfit people on an island, anywhere from 2 to 6 people.
So set up a tent.
Yeah.
Get all their stuff ready, so you can either kayak out there.
So if they have kayaks, they can bring their kayaks and simply kayak. I can give them the GPS coordinates because it's going to vary because I don't own anything landed, but it's all public access.
Okay.
So
that's what I was going to say. How does that work legally?
Yeah.
All we do is provide a tent. We don't.
So we're basically an outfitter. We're renting gear.
Okay.
We just gear.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And so then.
But like anybody's permitted to camp on the land there.
To camp on the land.
Yep.
Interesting.
As long as you follow the rules.
Nothing out, nothing in.
Leave no trace, all that fun stuff.
So, we've had people where we had father-son gigs where they want to just do something cool for Father's Day. And so, all they have to do is take their kayaks and kayak out there and they're good to go. And then they say, hey, we're leaving now, and then we go out, clean everything up.
Yeah, so they get a tent, they get like air mattress or something to sleep on.
Set up kitchen.
So basically they got to bring food and a sleeping bag is really all they got to bring because we provide the kitchen and literally everything else they need.
Yeah, that is nice.
Whatever fits on your kayak, it's easy.
Yeah.
There's you don't have to sweat it. You don't have to freak out. Nobody's arguing about putting up a tent, because you can ruin a camping trip pretty quick.
Yes.
With just setting up camp.
That is true.
And I provide a kayak tour. That's an option too.
Okay. Yeah.
Or if they need an extra one.
But you bring up a good point. If you're wanting to island camp and you're wanting to paddle out there, it's almost, at least the way I camp, I would almost need a second kayak, something just to pull my stuff.
Exactly. And so people don't do it as much if they don't have a boat.
And so that's how that idea came about. And my dad had a small Stratus fishing boat, and we took it down to Percy Priest one year with all the camping gear, and it was me and my boy and him, and that thing was loaded. I want to facilitate that even for fishermen. It's great for a father-son fishing trip, because then they don't have to worry about all the gear, which they don't have room for anyway. Really, I mean, you can make it work. Where there is a will, there's a way. But we just make it easier. And
then, like you said, it also makes it nice that you're saving. It can take over an hour to set up camp and take it down. So it's like you're saving them that time.
It's saving time and feelings. Yeah, sometimes It's a little rough. It can be trying at times, especially if you have smaller kids or you have teenagers that don't want to do it. Whatever the reasoning is, if you want to save your peace, we'll give you that. We'll give you that peace that you don't have to. There's no arguing at the beginning of who's going to unload what or do what, set up what. You know, it's everything from a tent to a toilet to the kitchen. It's all there.
Yep.
So you even bring out a bucket for them and the cedar chips and everything?
Even the little yeah, the whole deal.
Nice. So
Okay.
for our digging deeper segment, tell us about a time that things did not go as planned or the biggest failure with your endeavor here.
I can answer this one so easily with the word garden. As somebody who lived up north and I had good black dirt and you didn't really have to mess with it too much, you threw a little fertilizer on it every once in a while. You didn't have to. It was great dirt. My front yard was beautifully done. I had a forest area and I thought here I would be moving into a forest area. I had already had a glorious forest area in my yard. So of course when I came here, no big deal.
How different could it be?
How different can it be? It can be 1,000 times different. It's only 2 zones different and everything is different. Your plant varieties are different. Your flowers are different. Your dirt is different. What grows and what time it grows, absolutely different. The bugs are different. The microclimates are different. Everything, the flora, the fauna, you name it, it's different. And to adjust to that, and of course my stubbornness, the first 2 years I was like, I will not adjust my varieties, my time, what I do. And we failed miserably at gardening here. I had built-in gardens, I had my little beds up and everything, and I thought everything was going great. Nothing came up. Or things came up scraggly. And you're like, but my neighbor has a big giant garden and they get so much. Because I was trying too hard to do what I had done before and I didn't learn that I had to let go of that and try new things and go to the people that are successful here and say, what makes your garden successful and what does it good? What varieties do you plant? And I've learned that heirloom varieties from Tennessee work best here. The native plants work best here.
Yeah, anything that's going to grow wild on its own is obviously going to be something that takes well.
It's gonna be fine. Some things are very good about staying where they're supposed to be, and some things are just wild.
Yes.
And then when you get here, you know, everybody goes like, oh, poison ivy. Poison ivy is the least of your invasive species in the state of Tennessee. You got wild honeysuckle, you have box elder, you got like Bartlett pears, you have so much different things, and you have to learn how to overcome all those obstacles and go like, how do I tame this? And so then you learn that I'm not going to tame those muscadine grapevines. I'm going to carefully control them in a fashion where they'll grow and give me grapes and look really cool, but still within the wildness that they are. I'm not going to take away their wildness. I'm just going to give them a habitat where they can stay within my realm. But I still want that. I still want that wildness that's native to this area. And I had to learn to let go of all my cool little forest northern things that I wanted it to be and realize that Tennessee has its own ecosystem and to live and work within that.
Yeah.
And that was my greatest lesson, and I love that lesson because now I know what those plants are and I know where they grow and I know how they do and I know what works here, and I'm just starting to learn that. I'm like, I've gotten my blueberries in my forest to start producing. And so to me, that was a great accomplishment.
Yeah.
There's nothing like when the mountain laurels bloom and your Blue Ridge blueberries start to go into bloom and you go like, I have blueberries. If you can get to them before the deers.
Right, exactly.
Huckleberries are down on the ridge. If you can get to them before the deers get them, they're tasty. But, you know, but you can't tell people that come to stay here that, because I don't want them just grabbing berries anywhere and start eating them, because if they don't know what they are. And so within that, I will start labeling things for them to forage if they want to, but I'm not at that stage yet. So
Yeah.
I don't go through that yet because I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
When I get there, I will definitely offer that, or a forage class or something. When I get better at it, I want to pass on my knowledge to just anybody that wants it. You know, here's how we do this and here's how we do this. You know, I want to get better at what I know, because I've learned that through that failure, the learning was amazing. It was wonderful, and I needed that. I needed to know, I needed to not be cocky about what my skill set was and to learn that I needed to learn a new skill set. And so by going through Master Gardener classes down here, I learned, everything is different here. The dirt is different. Everything is different.
It's like starting over. It's like
absolutely
forget everything
over.
you know about gardening.
Retain this much of it, and the basics are still the basics.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything else is different.
Yeah.
Do not go by, I used to only grow this kind of bean. Yeah, you're not growing that here.
Yeah. It also depends on your type of dirt too. So like I noticed, like you mentioned, you have more of like a clay dirt here,
Yeah.
whereas like where we live in Chattanooga actually used to be really rich farmland, so the soil is actually there. Anything will grow. It's probably what you had up north.
Yeah, because we're on the plateau, so when you go down there, you're off the plateau.
Yeah.
So we're still plateau dirt. There's only like 6 inches of dirt, and then you hit rock. But in some places, like in our prairie, there's a lot more dirt than rock in there. But in the forest, you're not going to plant anything that has deep roots unless it's a tree.
Yeah.
And even then, you have to wonder how
Yeah.
deep the tree is. Because every once in a while, you'll find a maple or something that's been there for 90 years or whatever, and
Wow.
it's tilted over because the roots didn't go deep enough because of the rock that was right underneath it.
What's been your favorite memory? One of your favorite memories? I'm sure you've got plenty of them.
Yeah.
One of a more recent, just being able to do what you do here.
Yeah, so, I love interacting with people. That's like my favorite part, and so that leads to the memories, right? The listening prayer has been a big focus over the last year or so. The Lord gives us ears to hear, and so when we interact with people, then it opens up the door for the Spirit to work. We can actually listen on behalf of others. And which is becoming one of my favorite things to do. And so that leads to the memories that you're asking about. Jesus asked several people, what do you want? What do you want me to do? That opens the door for the Spirit to work and move in people's lives. And so through that interaction and that listening, I was able to take this family on a prayer walk. It was actually a directive from the Lord. I went back and to the prayer shelter one morning, and I was gonna, call my dad and my brother and get a fire going. And so had the fire starter and the twigs all set up, ready to light it, and the Lord said no, like real clearly. That was I hadn't heard it like that before, and so I was like, okay. That kind of perked me up, and I was listening real close. And he wanted me to go over. Keep it simple and stick to John chapter 10. And so that's what we did. And so we went on a prayer walk, and it was like an hour and a half of just the Spirit moving through me and for the sake of others. And just to get that review that says, I've never experienced God like that before in this place was, it made me cry.
Yeah.
And so that's one of my favorite recent memories.
Cool.
Yep.
And we hope that family does come back, considering that they live in Georgia, but they come up here to visit kids. So it's like, we're hoping for a symbiotic relationship in that, where they just, it's an easy place to bring the kids. And they have a dog, so we're dog
Of course. All right. Is there anything else you want to add? We'll just go ahead and close out.
Wow, what else? You didn't talk about the outdoor kitchen at all.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's in the pictures. It's okay.
okay.
It's okay.
And of course, I've got like pretty much everything that's on the property now and everything I'll be talking about in the blog post, which I'll link with
So it'll
this
be there.
podcast and
Yeah.
everything. So.
Yeah, it'll be there. Yeah. I've already had, a couple guests from before go, oh, you did upgrade the kitchen. That's nice. Because we didn't have drinkable water or anything in the kitchen. It was pretty much, But now it's like drinkable water, and it's hot. We used to have to boil the water on the stove to wash dishes. It was real primitive camp stuff.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, it was basically a fish cleaning sink.
Somebody gave us the cabinets, and his daughter gave us the sink.
Right.
It's like, let's do it. I'm like, yes. Because now I have a canning area, so I don't have to can in the house. Because I did that for one thing last year. I canned it out inside because it was just too hot.
Yeah.
And it was so nice because even with the breeze and the shade, it was just great.
Yeah.
Because we don't have air conditioning, so our air conditioning is in the forest. We spend a lot of time in the forest in the summertime. Like
Yeah.
a lot of it. We don't go in the house, too hot in there.
Yeah.
Or the
Down in
lake.
The forest or the lake.
Yeah.
That's true, Captain Tony.
Yes.
He's a registered and verified.
The lake is the go-to place in the summertime.
He's a verified captain.
What all are your offerings on the lake? So we talked about the camping, outfitting for that.
Yep.
Do you do fishing trips?
Nope, I don't do fishing trips.
Okay.
Not really a fisherman.
Okay.
If somebody wants to go fish on your boat while you're there,
No.
no. Then why do you have the fishing things?
No, they can go camping on the island if they want to go fishing. Yeah. Or there's great fishing guides on the lake. Yeah. Yeah. I can recommend a good fishing guide.
What
on the
about
lake.
hiking on the lake?
So the tours that Awakening Adventures offers is we do a Watts Bar Lock and Dam tour, which is really cool because it's like a water elevator.
Yeah.
You drop down like 60, 70 feet depending on the water level to go to Chickamauga Lake.
That's one I haven't heard before,
Magoo.
actually. Most people say it Chickamauga, and
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no G, there's no U after the G.
Yeah.
Where are you getting this WA from?
Yeah, I'm getting better at pronouncing that. I don't think I've quite mastered it yet. But yeah, so the Lock and Dam tour is pretty cool. Just an island tour. I can take people around if they just want to see the houses. There's some amazing houses on the lake. A lot of people like that. But then the one I'm really excited about this year offering is it's actually a hiking tour on Goat Island. And yeah, so it's about a 20-minute ride at full speed or 45 minutes to an hour at a slow poke to Goat Island. And so then about it's going to be like a half-day tour basically. So you get an island tour, you get to go hiking, swimming if you want, paddleboarding. Yeah.
Are there goats on Goat Island?
No.
Did there used to be goats, I guess?
Maybe
Maybe
there
that's
used to
why.
be.
I know that's a common thing around here is goats eat like the invasive plants. So if there's like too much kudzu on an island or something like that, they'll typically put goats out there to try to clear up the landscape.
I think it has to do with before the land was flooded to make a lake. That might have been like Goat Hill or Goat Ridge or something.
Yeah.
There was probably a lot of goats.
Yeah, that's a good theory.
Because goats were very popular through here for last 2 years.
I love it. That's a fun part of the tour. I always ask people, well, why do you think they named it Goat Island?
Yeah.
I think it's because,
And I let it hang there for a while. So it spurs on the conversation. And then I give them my perspective, of course, at the end, which you're not going to get today. You have to go on the tour.
Yeah, because technically the lakes that they have in Tennessee, a lot of them used to be valleys where people lived. My great-grandfather's farm is underneath Lake Cumberland, and it's all through Tennessee like that.
Yeah.
And so it probably had that name way before.
Yeah.
They.
Yeah, it's like that in North Carolina too. There's actually Fontana, where Fontana is, Fontana Lake. There's some family's graveyard is now on an island, and I think it's the county. I don't know if it's the state or the county. One of the government entities feels bad about that because all these relatives are like, hey, we can't even go see our ancestors' grave. So they like once a year do like a boat ride, offer them a boat ride out to the island so they can go visit their grave sites. Like, because it's
Nice.
like, because TVA just came in here and flooded everybody's stuff,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's an island they actually call Cemetery Island. I think everybody calls it Bird Island now because the birds have taken it over. But there are a lot of.
Where it's just birds, trees and birds.
Yeah, that's one of
Yeah.
the beautiful things about the lake is there's so many birds out there. Birds of prey and
Oh.
yeah.
Ducks.
Pelicans was a
Cranes,
surprise to me.
Really?
Like so many, and it's
Yeah.
very cool. It's like we have a lot of woodpeckers, different kinds of woodpeckers.
Yeah.
From little bitty ones to really big ones, and owls and all kinds of birds out here, and there's so many on the lake. And they're totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what we
Totally
have up here,
Yeah.
totally different than what's down there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So yeah, we have a lot of little babies. I'm always on my little app going, what bird is that? Now, identify bird, and there's just so many. It's astonishing how many different types live here.
Yes, that's one of the other beautiful things we haven't really talked about. You get a little bit of mountain life, and then you can also have lake life.
Yeah.
here.
Two totally different worlds, right?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
totally different. They're not even.
And they're only 20 minutes apart.
They're 20 minutes apart. Yeah,
20
all you
minute-
do is go down the mountain.
A 20-minute
There it is.
drive.
Yeah.
That's what I always say about Tennessee, because like when I moved here from Florida, people are like, only thing they could think about was the beach, like, because that's the only thing Tennessee doesn't have is the beach.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
have
beach.
we have man-made beaches, yes.
Man-made beaches, yeah.
Not quite the same.
Yeah.
But
No, it is not the same.
But that's what everybody thinks about, and they're like, "Don't you miss the beach?" And I'm like, "No, that's literally all Florida has. Like, that's the only thing Tennessee's lacking.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing Florida has. I'm like, you've got so much more here.
And there's no sand fleas, so that's great.
Yeah.
We have ticks, but
Yeah. Actually, there was a tick on me yesterday on
Yeah.
our hike.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're out now.
Yeah.
But the
I was
freeze
like,
next
"Oh."
week will kill them again.
Maybe.
So.
They weren't too bad last year. We've been taking some measures and planting the right plants to help
Yeah,
at
well,
least keep them away from the
learn them.
campsites.
Yeah, so this
Yeah.
year I'm gonna start plugging in some of those plants. So yeah, why is there lemon balm right here? Because
Yeah.
it keeps the bugs away.
And sandalwood's another one that they're
Sandalwood,
the tourism.
lemongrass,
Oregano.
oregano.
Yeah.
Oregano sometimes. Yeah.
Lavender.
I make my own bug repellent that my friend had made one time, and it worked. Like
Yeah.
she has like a little roll-on bottle, and it's just all your essential oils. You know, you just
yeah.
roll it on.
Yeah.
And so I do that right before every hike. Anytime, like even in the summertime when the mosquitoes really bad and
Yeah.
the ticks, I never had any problem. I was like, it actually works because
Yeah.
a lot of those natural things you're like, this doesn't work. You know. And so yeah, I've got that
Natural
recipe.
Cool.
I guess
Thank you
that's
so
it.
much.
All right, that concludes this episode of Behind the Business Chat. Be sure to check out the info below for more links, resources, anything that is related to this episode. And if you're able to like, comment, review this episode, I would really appreciate it. I would love to know what you think. And maybe share it with a friend that you think would enjoy it. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And comment, send me an Instagram DM, an email, anything. Just get in touch. If you have any additional feedback about the show, or is there a local Chattanooga business that you would like to see on the show? Thanks for watching or listening, and I will chat again with you soon.